Hello, everyone. This is the first installment of a weekly commentary I will call the Broken Job Market Files. Today, I want to talk about something that happens quietly to a lot of capable people. A job search starts as a practical problem. The company reorganized. The contract ended. The industry slowed down. The position disappeared. At first, the explanation is straightforward. Then several months pass. The applications pile up. The replies do not. Interviews lead nowhere. Employers disappear. Friends keep asking how the search is going, usually at the exact moment you were hoping nobody would ask. Gradually, the explanation changes. Maybe I am too old. Maybe my experience is no longer useful. Maybe everyone else understands something I do not. Maybe the employers are right to ignore me. That is one of the most damaging effects of a long job search. It stops feeling like a difficult market and starts feeling like a personal judgment. It is not. There are many reasons good people remain unemployed. Some are outside the candidate's control. Discrimination, geography, health, family responsibilities, economic conditions, industry contraction, plain bad timing. The hiring system itself is often disorganized, automated, overloaded, and strangely disconnected from the people it claims to be searching for. Still, there may be parts of the search that can be examined and adjusted. Here are 5 reasons good people sometimes stay unemployed too long. Number 1. Their professional identity is too broad. Experienced people often possess a complicated collection of skills. They have managed teams, worked with clients, handled projects, solved operational problems, written reports, trained employees, negotiated agreements, survived several corporate reorganizations that were announced as exciting new chapters. When someone asks what they are looking for, they say, "I can do a lot of things." That may be completely true. It does not necessarily give an employer a clear reason to call. Employers usually hire around a recognizable problem. They need a controller, a laboratory scientist, a sales manager, a project coordinator, a technical writer, someone who can repair a failing customer service operation. The candidate needs an entrance point. You do not have to deny the rest of your experience. You do not have to squeeze your entire career into one narrow box. You do need to lead with a clear proposition. For example, I help small technology companies build a more disciplined sales process. Or, I manage complex research programs and keep projects moving across several teams. Or, I turn technical information into material customers and employees can understand. That gives the employer something to hold on to. Once the employer understands your central value, the wider background can become an advantage. Before that, it may simply look like a pile of unrelated experience. "I can do many things" sounds flexible to the candidate. To the employer, it may sound like "I am not entirely sure why I am here." Number 2. Their experience is difficult to translate. A hiring manager will not always see the connection between your past and the employer's current problem. You may see a perfectly clear line. The employer sees unfamiliar job titles. This is especially common for career changers, older workers, former business owners, military veterans, people returning after an absence, and candidates moving from one industry to another. A business owner may have experience in sales, finance, operations, hiring, negotiation, and crisis management. A recruiter may see the words self-employed and wonder whether the candidate can take direction. A journalist may bring research ability, interviewing skill, deadline discipline, judgment, writing, and public communication. A corporate manager may simply see someone without direct corporate experience. The candidate has to perform the translation. Do not expect the employer to study your background carefully until the relevance becomes obvious. Most will not. Explain which skills transfer. Explain why the move makes sense. Explain what evidence supports the transition. A career change needs a story. Without one, the employer may create a story for you. Perhaps you are desperate. Perhaps you are overqualified. Perhaps you will leave. Perhaps you do not understand the role. None of those assumptions may be fair. Fairness does not prevent them from being made. Your explanation should be direct. You might say, "My background is broader than the traditional path into this position, but the work has consistently involved managing clients, solving operational problems, and improving communication. That is why I believe the role is a strong fit." Now, the employer does not have to solve the puzzle alone. You have connected the pieces. Number 3. They are trapped in an application routine. Applying for jobs provides structure. You find an opening. You adjust the resume. You complete the application. You re-enter your entire resume into boxes because apparently the uploaded resume was merely decorative. You submit everything. Then you record the activity in a spreadsheet. Something has been accomplished. The danger is that applications can consume the entire search. A candidate may spend 6 hours a day applying and no time speaking with people, researching companies, creating work samples, improving a needed skill, following up, or reconnecting with former colleagues. This creates an unpleasant contradiction. The candidate is working very hard while becoming increasingly isolated from the people who might help. Applications are easy to count. Conversations are harder to measure. That may be one reason people default to applications. The activity feels concrete. At the end of the day, you can say you submitted 12 of them. Whether anyone meaningfully reviewed them is another question. When months of applications produce little response, the routine deserves examination. A better search may divide time among several activities: applications, research, direct outreach, professional conversations, follow-up, visible work, portfolio development, learning something employers are actually asking for. The exact proportions will vary. The important point is this: do not make the least personal part of the hiring process your only method of reaching employers. An application is a form. A conversation is a relationship. One is easier to submit. The other may be more useful. Number 4. Rejection has made them too cautious. Repeated rejection changes behavior. After enough silence, candidates begin protecting themselves. They stop applying unless they meet every listed requirement. They avoid contacting people because they do not want to impose. They become restrained in interviews because showing enthusiasm now feels risky. Some begin apologizing for their own backgrounds. I know I may be overqualified. I realize I do not have the exact experience. I understand that my career has been unusual. The candidate is trying to address possible objections. The result may sound like an argument against being hired. Confidence does not require pretending everything is wonderful. It does require presenting your experience without treating it as evidence for the prosecution. A long job search can make people smaller. They become quieter, less visible, and less willing to risk another rejection. That reaction is understandable. It is also dangerous. The employer still needs to see interest, energy, judgment, and a reason to continue the conversation. You can acknowledge a transition without apologizing for it. You can say, my background is broader than the traditional route into this role, but the work has consistently involved the same central problems your team is trying to solve. That is not defensive. It is an explanation. The goal is not to act invulnerable. The goal is to stop presenting your career as something the employer must forgive. Number 5. They have not created a reason to be remembered. Many candidates are qualified. That is the problem. Employers may interview several people who can perform the work. The final decision often turns on smaller distinctions. One candidate understands the company problem more clearly. Another provides a useful example. Someone asks a sharp question. Someone follows up with an observation that extends the interview conversation. Someone makes it easier for the employer to imagine that person doing the job. Memorability does not require a stunt. Do not send the hiring manager a cake with your resume printed in frosting. Do not arrive at the office uninvited. Do not prepare a 40-page strategic plan for a company that has not even offered you a second interview. A point of distinction can be simple. Perhaps you reviewed the company public materials and noticed a challenge similar to one you solved previously. Perhaps you bring an unusual combination of skills. Perhaps you can explain a complicated issue clearly. Perhaps you asked a question that showed you understood what the department was actually facing. Competence gives the employer permission to hire you. A clear point of difference gives the employer a reason to choose you. That distinction does not have to be theatrical. It does have to be visible. Unemployment is a circumstance, not an identity. A long job search can become the organizing fact of a person's life. Every day is measured by applications, replies, interviews, and silence. Friends ask how things are going. Family members offer advice. LinkedIn produces an endless parade of people announcing exciting new positions with teams they are thrilled to join. It becomes very easy to treat unemployment as a judgment. It is not. The hiring process is far too inconsistent to serve as a reliable measure of human value. Good people are overlooked. Strong candidates interview badly. Employers make foolish decisions. Budgets disappear. Managers change direction. Markets turn against entire professions. None of that means job seekers are powerless. Clarify your professional identity. Translate your experience. Break the application-only routine. Stop apologizing for your career. Give employers something specific to remember. You cannot control the entire system. You can make it harder for the system to overlook you. This discussion is based on ideas being developed for my upcoming book, Get Hired in a Broken Job Market. From resume to offer in the age of AI, layoffs, and ghost jobs. The book is a practical field guide for people trying to find work inside a hiring system that often feels automated, impersonal, and disconnected from reality. It covers resume networking, recruiters, interviews, artificial intelligence, job search, organization, unconventional tactics, negotiation, and the first 90 days after getting hired. It does not promise that positive thinking will produce an offer by next Tuesday. It does offer practical ways to improve your odds. Cranky Books is also assembling an advanced reader team for upcoming books and field guides. Advanced readers may receive early chapter drafts, book updates, and opportunities to provide candid feedback before publication. Honest reactions are welcome. Agreement is not required. For more information and to join the advanced reader team, visit crankybooks.com.